All right, what's up, everyone? It's your man, the Mega Power TV, and I just wanted to do a quick, just like a quick guide for my boys out there, and for anyone who's like new to Dragonflight, or if you're like me and you're messaging your classic Andy buddy, like, "Hey, man, come to retail," and and he's dogging you and not non-committal, like Brian Gutekunst at the GM of the Packers, which that should be like you should make an just shout out to my boy Reggie Miller, aka the one of the best classic rogues ever to do it, right? But I want to bring his energy to Dragonflight, and so my thought is he should just be, because he's been so non-committal, he should create a mage in Dragonflight named Gutekunst, right? So here we are. Anyways, so I was talking to my boys, and I'm like, "Hey, I just put in a crafting order," and they're like, "What's a crafting order?" I'm like, let's make a quick guide of what a crafting order is. So, just a real quick guide. We won't get into all the details, but to do a crafting order, there was a revamp of the entire crafting system in Dragonflight, and it's actually pretty cool. We won't get into all the details, but for this instance, I told them I'm making a really good PvP cloak. Um, the end of this PvP season, I think, ends next week. So as of right now, it's still the best PvP cloak. So I'm just gonna get it crafted anyways because I've been wanting it. And you're allowed to have two crafted. Caveat: you can have as many crafted items as you want equipped, but there's this thing called an embellishment, which ties into with the shadow flame kind of thing that's going on right now. So basically, you can craft as many items as you want and wear as many craftable items. These embellished items, they're shadow flame crafted, meaning that the crafter has to go to like a shadow flame table out in the world and craft them if they get this embellishment. I don't think this cloak actually has to, but anyways, it's like you take your standard cloak with some stats, and then it adds like a unique ability to it, extra. So it could be anything, right? Like on damage, it has a chance to proc X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. So you get to have two of those special crafted items. Like I'll give you guys an example real quick. I had this pair of boots crafted right here, and it's successfully applying a loss of control effect on an enemy, interrupting an enemy, or dispelling any target. Increases your primary stat by 510 for 10 seconds. Can occur every 36 seconds. And this is a Shadow Flame crafted boot. So you got all the stats. It just gives you that extra little kick to it. Now I know I'm on my widescreen, ultra wide monitor right now, so you can't really see the text on here, but you'll get the idea. I'm gonna slide the camera down here just a little bit. So, just for the quick overview, what you do, you're gonna be in the capital city of Dragonflight, which is called Valdrakken. You'll get there pretty quick. It's in Thaladrazzus. So you'll literally be in the capital city. You're on like the main floor. There's where the big dragons sit atop their peak, all the way at the top of that. You're down here. This is the auction house right here. To get to the crafting table, I won't fly around so you guys can actually see it. But here is like, the fly point. You literally just go down these steps. You'll probably be on your dragon, so you won't even do this, but you'll come down here. The crafting table. So what's the crafting table? The crafting table is where, instead of like messaging people in the past of finding who has this pattern, you just go to this spot right here. You can eat your chicken nuggets, bud. Come over here to these vendors. These guys, I don't know what to call them, but anyways, they all just take crafting orders. And so what's cool is you can see all the craftable patterns available. So let's say we go to armor. I'm a plate guy, so we're all plate. You can see all these plate patterns that are available, and it's nice. So you can select one. So let's say you want the primal molten pauldrons. I'm just making sure you guys can see that. Yeah, you can. It'll come up and it'll tell you all of the reagents that you need. So here you need like 15 primal molten alloy, And so then it'll tell you like I've got 8 of them. And then there's this other thing that I need to provide called a shadow flame spark. So you can click to add it. I have one in my inventory, so it gives you all the stuff that you need. So then you load that up. And then there's this separate line here that says provide optional reagents. And so then there's different ones. So like here you can infuse with power. And this just creates, and this is the way Dragonflight is geared if you're new to it. So this one is set the base item level to 424 to 437. So the reason you would do that, the Spark of the Shadow Flame makes the item a 411 to 424 for crafting. This basically boosts that item up. So it's like, oh, think of it like instead of a looking for raid tier item, if this puts it into like a normal raid item, and so on and so forth, depending on what you have. I don't do anything beyond looking for raid. So when I try to craft stuff, I typically only have the mats to make it like a normal item, which caps out at 437. When you get into like raiding, then it's like 447. So the biggest thing that you'll be doing, especially for me, I like to PvP. So when you're PvPing, you earn conquest points. The conquest points, after you get like 500 of them, for example, you can go to the vendor and you buy like a token for crafting. And what that token does is when you're in PvP, I'll show you what I mean. So like my pole arm right here, it's a level 415, but when it goes into battlegrounds, it automatically bumps up to a 450. That's just something they do in PvP. PvP, your gear is either like 437 or 450, and there's like a base below that, but it's so easy to get the 437 gear. It doesn't really matter. So like my gloves are 437. But what's nice is, so for like crafted gear, the cloak I want is really good, but it's not actually a PvP cloak, but you can turn it into a PvP cloak. So I'll show you what I mean. Changed armor. Cloaks are actually under miscellaneous now instead of backs. So then you have to go to cloak. So I want to craft the undulating spore cloak. And the reason I'm doing this one is when above 70% health, you heal for 4,000 health every few seconds. And then when your health is below 30%, the symbiotic spores embedded in your cloak expand, shielding you, that absorbs 95,000 damage for 10 seconds. And this can only occur once every 2 minutes. So it's sort of just a nice little heal for yourself. And if you can see, I went and bought all these mats off the auction house. So I went and got those. I've got my Spark of the Shadow Flame. I don't have the thing to boost it to 437, which is another quick little thing that I'll talk about here in a sec. And then here is the PvP token. I've got a little token that'll turn this into a PvP cloak. You'll still have all your PvE stats, but it just boosts it, so when you drop into an arena, boom, now it's a 437 cloak. Or you go buy, with like 500 conquest points, the PvP token, which turns it into like a 450 cloak. So it's actually a fun little system. And then you can use it in both. It works really well. What's cool about this is, so here I need this enchanted worm shadow flame crest. My enchanter can actually make those. So I need to get that before I submit the order for this spore cloak. So what you do, and it's really cool, it's like, oh, now I need my enchanting, right? So you go to like, what my brain is not working. Let's try worm just to see if it pops up. Enchanted. No recipes found. Let's see. Let's go back to spore cloak. And what's it exactly called? We need enchanted worm shadow flame crest. Let's just see what comes up for shadow flame. Maybe, oh, it'd help if I could type shadow flame. Here we go. So like we need one of these. We need the enchanted worm shadow flame crest. Again, you pull it up. Oh, what do I need? I need all these mats, and then you have to have this reagent. This one you get from. I won't get into it. This one you get from like doing looking for raid or PvPing at the end of the week. Depending on how much you've done, you get a reward from the vault. The vault, you can turn in for coins, or it offers gear. You get to pick and say, I don't like any of this gear, I'll take the coins. And then turn the coins into these crests. So that's how I do it. That way, this is how you get good gear. What's cool is, okay, so now you need one of these. You can actually change who you want the order to go to. You can just set it out to the general public, or if you know, like, hey, I've got an enchanter, or my buddy's an enchanter, you change it to personal order, and then you can type, who you want it to go to. So like Mega Power TV, and then type in your Poofty Boy, and then you can, commission. I'm gonna give you 1 gold to do it, and I don't have the mats myself, but I know you do, so I'm just gonna set place order, which I did that a few minutes ago. That order goes over to the other person. When they log in, they just come into their crafting system, and they'll see like, oh, I've got an order sent to me. They fly to whatever table they need to do that at. They literally click craft, and then they hit done. They get their cut of the gold that you paid them, and then the mats, like the item literally just shows up in your inventory, and it's pretty sweet. So then you get that done, and that is literally that. The crafting system is pretty cool in general. So like here, if you pull up blacksmithing, this is what it looks like now. You see all your same stuff. It's not that much different than what you probably are used to over the years in Classic, but it's a little more fun. It does take longer, but you collect stuff, and it's crafting. It is what it is. But that is a not so quick guide that I thought it would be for the crafting table and placing an order in the crafting system. So that's all I've got for you guys. It's your man, the Mega Power TV. Subscribe, comment down below. I'm out.